Let me tell you why we are gathered here today, and that is to talk about a really cool tool in Facebook that is free. Yay. And it also will help you really hone in on who your ideal customer is. And let me share a real quick story with you. I was at a networking event. Oh gosh, it's probably been at least a year ago now, and met a lady who had just started a new business. And I started chatting with her and said, well, tell me about your business, and then tell me, who is your customer? Who is it that you are targeting because they are your ideal customer? And she said, oh, everybody's my customer. And I hope I didn't roll my eyes, but I may have. And then I thought to myself, she is in big trouble. And the reason she is in big trouble is because she doesn't know her audience. And that is the number one rule of marketing. First, know who your audience is. I mean, know them intimately, know everything you can about them. And you will then find this persona that is your ideal customer. Who is the person that is most likely to want to buy your product and actually will buy your product or your service or whatever it is you're selling? So that leads us to what we're talking about today. But real quickly, if we haven't met yet, I'm Jackie Schwartz. My husband Max and I are the owners of Planet Einstein, and we are digital strategists. We're going to take a look at this tool called Audience Insights. So are you ready to dive in? Let me share my screen with you. Let's go up here to Planet Einstein. I'm going to go to my business page, and I hope this screen is sharing with you. So we shall see. I am going to go to this little blue bar up at the top. You see the blue bar that runs all the way across. There's actually it will say your name, not my name, home, and then it has a little button that says create. You want to click on that create button, and then a drop down menu will come up, and it has add there. So you want to click on add. It says advertise your business, brand, or organization. Now, we're not really running an ad at this point. We're just going to the set of tools to plan as if you were going to build an ad. So click on add. It will take us to Facebook Ads Manager. So see this little, it's black line up here, the black bar. It has these three lines right here. Facebook fondly refers to that, or maybe it's just us Facebook marketers, but we call this the hamburger. So go to the hamburger and click on that, and it will bring up a menu. And in this menu are a set of tools. Now, Ads Manager is one of them, Analytics is another, Audience Insights is one. But if you don't see all of them, you go down to the bottom of that little rectangle and click on All Tools, and all of them will come up. So this is laid out according to how Ads Manager works. And that's another explanation. So we'll go back to Audience Insights for right now. So click on Audience Insights. I'm getting a tickle in my throat. Now, what this brings up is this really cool tool. And here's what it's going to do for you. It takes everybody on Facebook, that is literally millions of people, and we're going to build your audience specifically for what you are selling. What is that product or service? So let's begin by choosing everyone on Facebook at this point. So we'll click on that, and it brings up this graph and information, fill in the blanks over here on the left. So this is where we're starting. Create an audience right here at the top left side. And we're going to use the United States. Now, if you want to market to other countries, you can do that as well. But one thing is what we're going to focus on right now, and that is, what is the interest that your audience has that you are selling? For example, I'm a digital marketer, so I would want to find people for my audience that were interested in digital marketing. And everything I would think I know about that audience, I could try as an interest. Those people might also be Facebook administrators or ad administrators, but I'm going to try one interest at a time, because each time I change the parameters, it changes the results. So let me go ahead and, for the sake of just doing a practice here, we'll use my interest, which is digital marketing. And a menu comes up that shows it's there. Now, if some of you are in really unusual markets or have a very unique product or service, it might not be there in the exact words you stated. And if it's not there, you can't use it. You'll have to find something else that's as close to that as you can get. But since I chose digital marketing and it is there, I'm going to click on digital marketing, and it's feeding all the data into these charts over here on the right. So I'm going to close a couple of these windows so you can see what we're doing. So it has now built a very broad audience for me of 4 to 4.5 million people. That's a big audience. That would be bigger than I would want to tackle with an ad campaign. I wouldn't have enough ad spend to cover 4.5 million people. But again, we're looking at this not to get the exact audience, but to give us an idea of what our audience looks like. And we start with the demographics. So right here, on the building of a new audience, it's going to tell me, or it will tell you when you insert the interest you want to search, how many of your audience members are male or female. And it breaks it down for me. It tells me 46% of my audience is female, 54% is male. And it also tells me their ages. So the largest number of people interested in digital marketing is males who are ages 25 to 34. 34% of my audience would be males, the age of 25 to 34. And then you can look at every one of them and see exactly, where the bulk of your audience lies. Now we're going to move down, and we're going to look at the relationship status of our audience. So as you can see, most of my audience of people interested in digital marketing is going to be married. That's 48%. So I would probably want to target people who are married. And education level is the next one over. That shows me that 67% of my market is college educated, 67% of them. Now, the next block down shows us, and yes, you can target by job title. What are the jobs that the people who are interested in your product or service typically have. And again, these are suggestions, but they're based on Facebook's research. So for me, and this one is a pretty good indicator that plus 72%. Now, when you click over some of these areas that are highlighted, for example, this says compare. When I click on that, it will explain more about what's on this list. So I'm going to go back to job title and see what some of the jobs are that the people that are going to be in my ideal audience hold. So again, take some time to really look at this. Now, what I want to do next, now actually there's a see all button at the bottom of this. You can click that and just keep going until you reach the final end. And then it says see top 10, job title veterans is interesting, although that's just 4%, that probably wouldn't be high on my list. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, the next thing I want to look at, remember we started up here with demographics, and everything on this first page was about demographics, relationship status, job title. Now, let's move to the next one over, which is page likes. And I'm going to close that so you can see everything that is here. The top category of page likes. These are Facebook pages that your ideal audience likes. So my top one, actually there are two, is Entrepreneur and Gary Vaynerchuk and Robert Kiyosaki, or Kiyosaki, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And it lists the top 10 categories. Then in the next one down, it lists specific pages that my ideal customer likes and tells you what the relevance is, how relevant is this page to my ideal audience. And this one, Gary Vaynerchuk, is ranked number 1. It also tells you the size of the audience. This is 590.5 thousand people. And based on, let's see what this one says, number of monthly active people for the page, 2.8 million. And the affinity is how likely your audience is to like a given page compared to everybody else on Facebook. And this one is 92 times more likely to like Gary Vaynerchuk's page than the average person on Facebook. Did you follow that? That affinity, actually the ranking will tell you, how well that is relevant to your specific audience. So this ranks mine from Gary Vaynerchuk to Facebook Business to the Points Guy, Tony Robbins, Entrepreneur, Small Business Saturday. Not familiar with that one. I need to look it up because it has 2.9 million people on Facebook. So anyway, this is really good data for you to know and keeps you from guessing, what pages, I wonder, would my ideal customer look at on Facebook? If I target all the people who like Gary Vaynerchuk, then they're most likely going to be interested in what my ad or my post or my whatever it is in the way of content I put up there. And then there's more. So you can click on more and keep going to, the bottom. This one says see more. So it has a long, long, long list, even more. So we won't go through all of those. Now, the last one, and actually this is also really cool, considering the fact that if you are targeting the United States, you can click on location and find out, where do most of these people live? What states, what cities should I target? And it tells me that for my interest of digital marketing, which I have right here, I am going to find people most likely to be interested in my digital marketing service, my messages in Miami, Florida. That's interesting. In Tampa, Florida, in Detroit, Michigan, in Nashville, Tennessee, in Suffolk County, Massachusetts, in Hidalgo County, Texas, San Francisco, Salt Lake County, Utah, Miami-Dade County, Florida. That narrows it down to a specific county, not just the city of Miami. And then the last one in the top list is Atlanta, Georgia, and then there's a see all, so I can keep going and going and going and going. So you will discover who your audience is, and you will discover that you may not have known your audience as well as you thought you did.